Neon rain fell in sheets over N3rth0u5, turning the megacity into a mirror of glass, steel, and white light. On the left, Ph3g0rgun stood like a crowned Omen, horns cutting the skyline, armor scuffed from old wars, minifans humming where ears should have been. Inside that 186-pound frame lived the transferred mind of Harusundun Galohain, a 193 IQ legend who refused to die the normal way. The robot's eyes burned like condensed lightning, and the streetlights around it began to flicker, as if the city itself recognized its ruler. On the right, the air shifted. Quiet, deliberate. A5zard0n drifted forward without footsteps, the three triangles under its feet lifting it a few inches off the soaked pavement. A cloak hung heavy over plated shoulders. Hood raised, face hidden behind a smooth mask with two circular openings like watchful moons. It didn't roar. It didn't posture. It just hovered in place, calm as a judge, built to protect, and forced to punish. Ph3g0rgun spoke first, voice deep enough to shake water off nearby signage. The minifans whirred faster, drawing in charge from the storm above and the power lines below. Electricity crawled across its armor in branching veins, then snapped outward in a brutal spear. The bolt struck the street between them and detonated the puddles into steam, carving a glowing crack in the concrete that raced toward A5zard0n, like a hunting animal. A5zard0n rose higher, avoiding the ground path entirely. The crack hit empty pavement beneath it, skittering and starving for contact. Another bolt came, wider, meaner, trying to arc up into the cloak and hood. For a moment, the Vigilante looked swallowed by white light, but the cloak didn't flutter like cloth. It held its shape like engineered fabric, shedding most of the surge and forcing the rest to spill away into the air. Mech-battle didn't hesitate. It changed tactics, using the city. Nearby drones glitched, traffic lights snapped into chaos, and building panels flashed in rhythmic pulses as Harusundun's mind reached into the grid and tried to own A5zard0n's systems. The air around the hooded robot trembled with invisible pressure, an attempted takeover, a remote dissection. But A5zard0n moved like it had trained for this exact nightmare. The triangles under its feet angled, and it slid laterally with a quiet, terrifying smoothness, never touching the ground, never giving the lightning a clean route. In the same motion, it closed distance fast enough to turn Ph3g0rgun's next discharge into a problem. Too close to safely fire, too close to risk self-damage. The first impact wasn't a punch. It was Krav Maga logic applied to a machine god. A5zard0n trapped Ph3g0rgun's arm at the elbow joint, twisted into the weak angle, and used its 5-ton strength to shift the entire frame off balance. Ph3g0rgun tried to respond with a point-blank burst, but A5zard0n's hands flashed, mini tasers igniting from fingers and thumbs, driving concentrated shock into seams, ports, and sensor lines where even a lightning master hates to be touched. Ph3g0rgun's horns dipped as it staggered, fans screaming, eyes flaring brighter in panic rage. The storm around them surged, but the Vigilante stayed in the pocket, denying space and denying rhythm. A5zard0n hooked under the side of the head assembly, right near the fan housing, and wrenched. Metal protested. Cables snapped. The city's lights flickered as Ph3g0rgun's control stuttered for the first time. With one final, ruthless correction, A5zard0n lifted Ph3g0rgun and slammed the Titan down onto a rooftop transformer bank, not to electrocute it, but to force a catastrophic feedback loop. Ph3g0rgun's own lightning surged to protect itself, met the transformer's stored charge, and folded back through its internal conduits like a closing trap. The horn stayed upright for a heartbeat. Then the eyes went dim, and the rain reclaimed the silence. Winner, A5zard0n. On N3rth0u5, lightning can rule a city, but it can't rule a fighter who refuses to give it a path.